Hello. Today I'm going to demonstrate leaning, practice leaning. This is part of a series of exercises that help improve balance. They're all based on the principles of the Alexander technique. So, leaning, what does it mean, leaning? Usually we lean against something in order to have a rest, yeah? You lean against the back of your chair. Oh, it's restful. Very nice. You lean against the wall and you find it very restful. You lean maybe with your back against the wall. I can't do this because you won't see me, but you can stand up and lean your back against the wall and standing, and you notice how restful it is. And you can lean your elbow on the table and have a rest. Or you can lean your two hands on the table and have a rest. And then notice something else when you do that. Say for instance you are leaning with your hand against the wall. You can kind of collapse into your arm, and doesn't feel very good, doesn't feel very restful. Just notice how the leaning, the resistance of the wall kind of sends you back away from the wall at the same time that you're leaning into the wall. It's as if there were a two-way dynamic going on between the wall and your shoulder. And there isn't anything you need to actually do to activate this. All you need is to have a rest, to give your weight to the wall. You notice how easy it is to come away? If I use that resistance of the wall sends me away. I don't need to do very much at all. The other thing though, you might notice, I am going to demonstrate this all the same. Let's see, if I'm further away you can probably see me, except I have to now lean into the window. I'm going to lean into the window frame so as not to break through. I can lean and you see that I am at an angle, but I'm still on my feet. I now notice my feet also and my hands are doing the same thing. I'm kind of leaning in two directions. I'm leaning with my feet into the ground and with my hands against the surface. Again, this diagonal dynamic is going on. Maybe I can demonstrate it here with my elbows. I'm now leaning with my elbows on the back of the chair, but I'm still on my feet as well. So I'm kind of leaning in two directions from the floor, and the feet is leaning going on and between my arms and the back of the chair. And I'm giving my weight to both, in both directions. Because I can never give all of my weight to the thing that I'm leaning against, yeah? It's not possible. I would have to be upside down, do a handstand on here, then that would apply. but I'm on my feet and I'm leaning. So I'm giving my weight partly to the chair, partly to the floor. And then, if I come back to my feet, now all of my weight I give to my feet. Not half of it, all of it. My weight does not change between this position and this position. It stays the same, whether I'm distributing it or whether it's all on the feet. It's the same weight, it's the same support, and I'm giving all of that weight to the floor when I'm standing. So you could say I'm actually leaning on the floor. So I'm doing something very similar to leaning, yeah? I know it's a bit far-fetched, but sometimes it helps to see something through the perspective of something else, to redefine or reframe. Well, I'm going to lean my sitting bones on the flat of the chair now, because I'm going to give all of my weight to the chair. So I'm kind of leaning into the chair. And you remember what you experienced when you were leaning, the kind of restfulness of leaning, when you lean into a wall or against a tree on a walk. It's very restful. But that means you can rest standing, because you are leaning when you're standing. So standing can be restful. You can have a rest standing. And you can have a rest walking, because walking is standing alternatively on one foot and then the other. You're giving your weight temporarily to one foot and then you're picking it up with the other one. You can kind of lean against the wall and do a bit of walking with your hands on the wall, just to give your organism the chance to experience walking in a different way, walking with your hands, and to experience leaning and resting, so that those ideas become associated with each other in your brain. So practice a lot of leaning. Give your organism time to discover what it actually means to lean. Give your organism time to find the restfulness in leaning, and then see whether you can transfer that meaning to standing and to walking. Play with the ideas, play with the sensory experience. Make them small, these exercises. Don't topple against the wall and then slip and end on the floor. Make them nice, small, restful. Enjoy them. Keep repeating them all throughout the day. When you walk to the kitchen to put the kettle on, notice how actually this is quite restful, this walking. When you put the kettle on, you stand, you shift weight, but each time all of your weight is given to the floor. Whether you shift it this way or that way, it's the same weight. It doesn't change. Notice Restful means you don't have to do any work to stay upright. Very little. Not you don't have to keep hanging on to yourself, because the floor is holding you. The floor is holding you. That's enough. Just keep leaning. Have fun leaning and resting.